The DNA test came back. My daughter wasn't my husband's. She wasn't mine either. Not biologically. Not by blood. Not in any way a lab could measure. My name is Danielle Foster. I'm 33. And that result didn't just break my marriage. It broke everything I thought I knew about the day my daughter was born. 8 years ago, I gave birth to my daughter, Chloe, at a hospital 2 hours from home after a high-risk pregnancy sent me into early labor during a family trip. It was chaos. Doctors moving fast. My husband, Ryan, wasn't even in the room yet when she was born. For years, that detail never mattered. Then, 3 months ago, Chloe did a school genetics project. A simple ancestry kit, the kind millions of families do for fun. Ryan did one too, just to compare results with her. The email came back 11 days later. And it didn't say father. It said no biological relationship detected. I assumed it was a lab error. I ordered a second test, a real medical grade 1, done properly through a clinic. 2 weeks later, the results were identical. Ryan wasn't her biological father. So I tested myself. And that's when the real nightmare started. Because my results said the same thing. I wasn't her biological mother either. Before I tell you what the hospital finally admitted to us 4 days later, tell me something. Could you imagine finding out the child you raised for 8 years isn't biologically yours, and somewhere out there is a stranger raising your real daughter without knowing it? Comment yes below if this shook you the way it shook me. Because what we uncovered over the next 6 weeks didn't just change our family. It ended with a hospital lawsuit, a second family living 3 states away, and a decision no parent should ever have to make. Stay with me until the end. Because the moment I met the other mother face to face, I understood exactly what no biological relationship actually meant. 2 babies. 1 hospital. 1 chaotic night 8 years ago. That's what the hospital's internal review finally confirmed, 4 days after I demanded answers with a lawyer sitting beside me. The night Chloe was born, the maternity ward had been short-staffed and overwhelmed, 2 mothers in early, unexpected labor at the same time, both babies born within 20 minutes of each other, both requiring brief NICU monitoring before being returned to their rooms. Somewhere in that 20-minute window, in the chaos of 2 crash carts and 2 exhausted nursing teams, the identification bracelets were placed on the wrong newborns. I had been holding someone else's daughter for 8 years. And somewhere, a family I had never met had been raising mine. The hospital's risk management team wouldn't give me a name at first. Privacy laws, they said. Legal review, they said. I sat in that meeting shaking. Thinking about 8 years of birthdays, first steps, missing teeth, bedtime stories, all of it real, all of it love, and none of it biologically what I thought it was. Ryan didn't say much in that meeting. When we got to the car, he finally spoke. She's still our daughter, he said. None of this changes that. He was right. But it didn't make the next part any easier. Because somewhere out there was a little girl who looked nothing like either of us, being raised by parents who had no idea she wasn't theirs either. And within 1 week, the hospital's lawyer finally gave us a name. A name. After a week of waiting, a lawyer, and a hospital desperate to control the story, we finally had a name. Marissa Coleman. A woman 2 hours away, in the Same town where Chloe was born. A woman who, according to the hospital's own timeline, had given birth the same chaotic night I had. I didn't reach out immediately. Our lawyers arranged the first contact carefully, through a mediator. Because neither of us fully understood what we were walking into. Two families, both raising children we loved completely, both about to learn none of it was biological. Marissa agreed to meet 2 weeks after the hospital confirmed the swap. We sat across from each other in a quiet mediation office, two mothers who had never met, connected by a mistake neither of us caused. She had a daughter too. 8 years old. Named Ava. And the moment she showed me a photo on her phone, my knees nearly gave out. Ava had my mother's eyes. My exact same dimple, on the exact same side of her face. A child I had never met, who I recognized instantly, in a way I still can't fully explain with words. Marissa said the same thing happened to her, looking at photos of Chloe. She saw her own father's jawline, her sister's smile. We sat there for almost 2 hours, two strangers, crying over photographs of daughters we'd both raised for 8 years, daughters who biologically belonged to each other's families the entire time. Then Marissa asked me the question neither of our lawyers had prepared us for. What do we do now? What do we do now? Neither of us had an answer. Because there wasn't a script for this. No lawyer, no therapist, no hospital policy had ever fully prepared either of us for a decision like this one. Our lawyers were clear about one thing immediately. No court, no hospital, no outside party would force either family to hand over a child we'd raised for 8 years. Legally, we were still each girl's parents in every way that mattered. This wasn't a custody battle. It was something the legal system had almost no language for at all. But biology doesn't disappear just because the law protects the family you built instead. Somewhere, Ava had genetic siblings, a genetic grandmother, medical history that could matter someday, and an entire biological identity she had no idea existed. The same was true for Chloe. We decided together, slowly, over several difficult conversations, that we wouldn't switch the girls. Chloe would stay Chloe. Ava would stay Ava. But we would build a relationship between our two families. Genetic sisters who would grow up knowing the truth. Knowing each other, without either of them losing the parents who had raised them since birth. It wasn't easy. Ryan struggled more than I expected. Quietly grieving a biological connection he never knew he was missing until it was gone. I struggled too. Some nights lying awake wondering about 8 birthdays I never got to witness, 8 years of a little girl's laugh I had never once heard. We filed a lawsuit against the hospital, not for money alone, but to force a change in their newborn identification protocol so no other family would ever live through this. The case settled 11 months later. The hospital implemented a new double verification system for every birth on their maternity ward. But the most important part of this story isn't the lawsuit. It's what happened the first time Chloe and Ava met each other. The first time Chloe and Ava met, they didn't know they were sisters yet. We kept it simple for them at first, just two families who'd become friends. They found each other on the playground within 10 minutes, laughing at the exact same joke at the exact same moment, in a way that made both Marissa and I go completely silent watching them. We told them the truth gradually, over the following year, with a child psychologist guiding every conversation. Chloe's first question wasn't about biology at all. She asked if that meant she got to keep Ava as a sister forever now, even though they lived in different houses. I told her yes. Forever. Today, 3 years later, our two families spend holidays together. Chloe and Ava call each other sisters, not the girl I'm biologically related to. Ryan and I are still Chloe's parents in every single way that matters. Marissa and her husband are still Ava's parents the exact same way. Nothing about that changed. What changed is that our daughters know their full story now, without losing a single person who has loved them since the day they were born, even if it wasn't the day either of us originally believed. Here's what I carry with me now. Family was never really about biology to begin with. It's about who shows up every single day for 8 years and counting. But I also believe those girls deserved the truth, not to take anything away from either family, but to give them the full picture of exactly where they come from. If you're ever facing a truth that feels like it might break your family apart, I'd tell you what Marissa told me the day we met. The truth doesn't destroy real love. It just asks you to be brave enough to make room for more of it. If this story reached you tonight, hit subscribe. We share a new true story every week. And tell me honestly, in the comments, if this happened to you, would you have wanted to know the truth? Or would you rather have never found out at all? I read every single comment. I'll